Good evening. Tonight, we witness a pivotal moment in the story of global trade and energy, a moment that may well shape the future of entire continents. This week, a train loaded with Iranian crude oil quietly began a journey to western China, marking the inauguration of the China-Iran rail corridor. This is not just a routine shipment, it's the first of its kind, a signal that the world's energy map is being redrawn before our eyes. This isn't just another freight line, it's a bold shift in global energy, logistics, and power. The steel rails stretching across mountains and deserts are more than infrastructure. They are the arteries of a new era, pulsing with ambition and strategy. For decades, Asia's oil lifeline ran through the vulnerable Strait of Malacca, a strategic choke point China has long feared. Any disruption there could threaten the energy security of billions. Now with this new rail link, China has a direct land bridge to a major oil supplier, bypassing US patrolled waters. This overland route is faster, less exposed to naval blockades, and gives both nations more control over their destinies. The corridor deepens the China-Iran partnership, giving Iran a reliable outlet for its oil, and China a secure energy route. It's a win-win, strengthening economic ties and political trust between two nations often at odds with the West. This is more than infrastructure, it's a statement of a multipolar world, where new power centers build their own systems. The rail corridor is a declaration that the old rules are changing, and new alliances are taking shape. The new Silk Road is forged in steel and oil, not silk and spices. It's a modern echo of ancient trade routes, but with stakes that are higher than ever: energy, security, and influence. The journey of that first train is a symbol of a changing world order, where technology and political will reshape geography. Each mile of track laid is a step toward a future where nations can chart their own course, independent of old constraints. Understanding this story is crucial to grasping the forces that will define the 21st century. The choices made today will ripple across generations, affecting economies, alliances, and even the balance of peace and conflict. The world just got a little smaller, and a lot more complicated. As new connections are forged, old certainties are challenged, and the map of global power is being redrawn in real time. Let's explore how this single railway is redrawing the map of global power, and what it means for the future of trade, diplomacy, and energy security. Welcome to a new era, one where steel and oil, vision and resolve are the building blocks of tomorrow's world. To understand the rail corridor's significance, consider the Strait of Malacca, a narrow waterway that's long been Asia's main artery for oil. About 80% of China's crude imports have passed through this strait, making it a strategic vulnerability known as the Malacca Dilemma. Any disruption, by conflict, piracy, or accident, could cripple China's economy and send shockwaves through global markets. This fragility has driven China to seek alternatives, from pipelines in Myanmar to ports in Pakistan. But none match the scale or directness of the new rail link to Iran. The corridor is China's most ambitious attempt yet to bypass the Malacca bottleneck and secure its energy future. It's a concrete step toward reducing dependence on contested sea lanes. The China-Iran rail corridor is the latest chapter in a relationship that stretches back over 1,000 years, rooted in centuries of trade, cultural exchange, and strategic alignment. From the days of the ancient Silk Road, merchants and diplomats traveled between these two great civilizations, exchanging not only goods like silk and spices, but also ideas, technologies, and philosophies that shaped the region. Today, the dynamic has evolved. China, now the world's largest energy consumer, needs vast amounts of oil to fuel its rapid economic growth. Iran, isolated by international sanctions and seeking to keep its economy afloat, needs a powerful and reliable customer for its abundant oil reserves. Their partnership deepened in the 21st century as China's energy demand soared and Iran's nuclear ambitions led to ever tighter Western sanctions. This created a unique opportunity for both nations to strengthen their ties, bypassing traditional global power structures. China maintained robust economic ties with Tehran, securing vital energy supplies and asserting its independence from the Western-dominated order. Chinese businesses flourished in Iran, and trade between the two countries continued to grow, even as others pulled back. In 2021, the two nations formalized their cooperation with a landmark 25-year strategic partnership, paving the way for billions of dollars in Chinese investment, infrastructure projects, and a steady, long-term supply of Iranian oil. The new rail line is a direct result of this sweeping agreement, turning diplomatic promises into steel and concrete, and physically linking the two economies in unprecedented ways. This partnership is not about shared ideology, but about mutual interests, China's quest for energy security and Iran's urgent need for economic survival. Both sides benefit, and both are willing to defy global pressures to maintain this relationship. The corridor physically integrates Iran into China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, making both nations more interdependent and further cementing their roles in the emerging Eurasian trade network. It's a partnership of convenience, but one powerful enough to reshape not just their own futures, but the entire energy and political landscape of Asia. As their cooperation deepens, other regional players are forced to adapt. The stakes are high and growing as both countries bet on each other to secure their place in a rapidly changing world. The China-Iran rail corridor officially launched in January 2026, with little fanfare but huge implications. The first train carried 150,000 barrels of Iranian crude, traveling over 4,500 kilometers through Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan to China's Xinjiang region. Harmonizing different rail gauges required innovative transfer hubs, turning a patchwork of national lines into a seamless artery. Chinese and Iranian officials hailed the project as a flagship of the Belt and Road Initiative and a new chapter in their strategic ties. Initial capacity is 3 million tons of cargo per year, with plans to double-track and expand terminals. The ultimate goal: a high-capacity land bridge moving tens of millions of tons of goods, oil, minerals, and more, across Central Asia. This is the backbone of a new regional economy. The corridor's initial goal is to move about 1 million barrels of oil per month, around 3% of China's annual imports. While rail is pricier than shipping, it offers speed and security. Oil reaches China in 15 to 18 days, half the time of the sea route. For Beijing, the extra cost is insurance against a Malacca blockade. The project required over $20 billion in infrastructure upgrades and complex diplomacy with transit countries. Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan benefit from transit fees and economic development. The long-term vision scale up to 1 million barrels per day, potentially redirecting 10% of China's oil imports overland. This would fundamentally alter the strategic balance in Asia's energy trade. The numbers make it clear this is just the beginning of a long-term plan to re-engineer China's energy security. The stakes are enormous. The rail corridor is shaking up global alliances and power dynamics. It cements the China-Iran axis, giving both nations tools to resist U.S. pressure and bypass naval blockades. For the U.S. and its allies, the loss of leverage over sea lanes is a strategic setback. China is building a parallel trade system, less dependent on Western institutions and military power. Regional rivals like India and Southeast Asian nations are watching with concern, as China's influence in Central Asia grows. Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan gain new revenue and strategic weight, but also become more dependent on Beijing. The railway is more than a conduit for oil, it's a vector for Chinese influence across Eurasia. The geopolitical map is being redrawn, one rail at a time. Experts agree, the China-Iran rail corridor is a game-changer, not just because of the current volume of oil it carries, but for the powerful signal it sends to the world. This railway is more than a transport link, it's a symbol of shifting alliances and new possibilities. It represents a bold step toward a future where nations are connected by land as much as by sea, and where the balance of power is being quietly redrawn. Dr. Ilara Vance calls it the physical manifestation of geoeconomics. Infrastructure as grand strategy. The tracks themselves are a statement, showing how steel and concrete can shape the destiny of entire regions. China is building a Eurasian economic bloc, one that is less vulnerable to Western maritime power and less dependent on traditional sea routes. This is a deliberate move to create alternatives and reduce exposure to global chokepoints. Quiet diplomacy and patient investment made this possible. While the West focused its attention elsewhere, China offered development, partnership, and a vision of shared prosperity to its neighbors. The immediate impact on oil prices is minimal, but the strategic implications are profound. This corridor is about more than just economics. It's about resilience, security, and the ability to weather future storms. The corridor puts a ceiling on the political risk premium for oil, ensuring a guaranteed flow to China, even in times of crisis or conflict. It's a safety valve for energy security and a hedge against uncertainty. This signals a shift from a single American-led global system to a world of competing land and sea-based supply chains. The old order is giving way to a new, more complex web of connections. As Dr. Vance says, this is the beginning of a great divergence. The world is no longer moving in one direction, but splitting into distinct spheres of influence. The world's economic geography is splitting, and the China-Iran Railway is a major new border. It marks the edge of a new era, where infrastructure defines alliances and divides. The future will be defined by these new lines. Lines of steel, ambition, and vision, reshaping the map and the destiny of nations for generations to come. The economic impact of this steel artery will ripple far beyond oil. For Iran and Central Asia, the railway means faster, cheaper access to China's vast market, spurring new industries and growth. Maritime hubs like Singapore and Malaysia may see their economic edge erode as trade shifts overland. The global shipping industry faces a new competitor, overland freight, that prioritizes speed and security. Expect a two-tiered trade system: bulk goods by sea, high-value and strategic goods by rail. The corridor will also boost the use of China's yuan, creating a dollar-free economic zone across Asia. As trade volume grows, the yuan's role in global commerce will expand, challenging the dollar's dominance. The economic tremors are just beginning. Why should you care about a train crossing Central Asia? Because it's a symbol of a world in transition. The China-Iran rail corridor challenges the old order of US naval supremacy and dollar dominance. It shows how economic power can reshape geopolitics, turning rails into new lines of influence. This development will affect everything from gas prices to global stability. The world is becoming more complex and multipolar. The unipolar moment is over. Competing systems and new supply chains are emerging. Understanding these changes is essential for anyone who wants to grasp the forces shaping our future. Pay attention to the new lines on the map. They reveal who's rising, who's falling, and how the world's resources will flow. The journey of that first train is just the start of a much larger transformation. The new world is arriving, one rail at a time.